Most people would probably agree with me that Just Cause 4 wasn't that great. But have you ever heard of Just Cause Mobile? Probably not, because it was never really advertised much. So let's take a look at the newest Just Cause game that nobody knows about, that you can't even play anymore, and how it might have spelled the end of the franchise. You probably have some questions like, what the hell even is Just Cause Mobile? Well, you're in luck, because I subjected myself to it for 2 hours on stream, so I know all about it and nothing at the same time. According to Square Enix themselves, Just Cause Mobile is an action shooter set in the explosive Just Cause universe and designed exclusively for mobile. Action-packed story campaign, 30-person competitive multiplayer, 4-player co-op missions, Just Cause Mobile has all of this and more. In reality, Just Cause Mobile is just another soulless mobile game that they simply threw together to make some money after the tragedy that was Just Cause 4. This game is also not made by Avalanche Studios, but by Square Enix themselves. Oh boy. They also immediately stated that Just Cause will not be a mobile franchise from now on. How nice of them to not let it rot in mobile game purgatory. But let's first give you a little recap before we dive into this. The game was first announced all the way back in December 2020. Yes, it's been over 2.5 years already. For the entire time, the game has been in a region-locked public alpha. Only 2 countries ever got access to it, Singapore and the Philippines. I think they added Thailand much later, but that's it. They then delayed the full release, and then again, and then a third time, and proceeded to make empty promises of a full release in a few months. This also means that the game has more delays than trailers. Doesn't that inspire confidence? And just recently, they finally let it die, after probably realizing that it's been a giant waste of time and resources this whole time. But what was the game actually like? Basically, what they did was take every random game asset they had laying around and stuffed it all into one game. Don't believe me? This is literally an official iPhone image. And to make it a Just Cause game, they grabbed some low resolution assets from Just Cause 3 and Just Cause 4 and threw those in as well. Boom! Now you've got a new Just Cause game. So, what even is the story? And honestly, I have no idea. The text in this game scrolls by at the speed of light and they throw key dialogue at you while you're in the middle of the action. And this wouldn't even be bad if it was fully voice acted, but nope, it's just text. You actively have to get away from the action if you want to understand the story. And even then, until you've gotten to safety, you've probably already missed half of the key information. But here's what I did get. You play as an agency operative, you know, the bad guys, and are part of a subgroup called Firebrand. You don't play as Rico because this is a spin-off. But hey, at least you're looking for Rico, because he's an enemy to the agency. But then you're also looking for this other character called the Scorpion, which sounds oddly similar to Rico's codename in Just Cause 2, Scorpio. But no, they are 2 different people. There's also a new faction called Darkwater, who I guess are the enemies. Then you've also got this Electra character, who assists you and throws texts at you at the most inconvenient times. But then there's also actual Just Cause characters. While I've played, I've only met Annika, and it's probably possible that there are more, but I didn't find any. And it makes no sense, because Annika just helps you? Like, you'd expect her to be on the side of Rico, but then she just helps the bad guys? Perhaps she was just hastily thrown in, to give existing fans a sense of familiarity with an existing character. There's also other random characters that aren't even worth bringing up, and I honestly have already forgotten all about them. The gameplay is about as dull as it gets. You at least get an intro mission that showcases one of the game modes in a fake online lobby that's actually just filled with bots. And this tutorial is honestly the most exciting it gets. In no other mission I've played do you really encounter helicopters or even mechs like they showed in the trailers. Or any vehicles really, apart from one boss fight. After the intro mission, they just drop you into a map, and from then you're pretty much on your own. There seem to be some open world activities, like one of the NPCs asked me to clean the water supply, but I found no way to actually do that, so yeah. What actually works are these dollar store base takeovers. Go to a base, defeat some bad guys on the way, shoot red objects if it decides to work, and this does not want to break either. Protect the radar for a minute like in those 3 Just Cause 4 missions. Protect target. Oh, they really did pick the worst things from Just Cause 4. Get swarmed by way too many enemies, it's attacking me, but oh my god. That was like 5 frames in total. Reloading takes like 5 seconds, oh no. Fail the mission and realize there's no replay button or checkpoints. You just get kicked out of the mission entirely. Oh, please don't tell me I have to do all of that again. No. It kicks me out of the mission. Question all your life choices that led up to you playing this. This is painful, yes. Do everything again and boom, done. But let's go. We don't have to do this again. It honestly feels like they just took the worst aspects from Just Cause 4 and made them even worse. The controls are okay. Yeah, just okay. Most of the times they work. And when they do, you can grapple, parachute and wingsuit. But the wingsuit and parachute have a usage limit that isn't explained anywhere. So if you randomly can't use them, sucks to be you, I guess. You just go, oh, SP? What's SP? Glad you tell me now while I'm 50 meters in the air. And I still don't know what it is. I did it again! It's also quite weird to use the wingsuit and parachute in this top-down perspective, so I just ended up walking most of the time. Oh yeah, weapons. You get some weapons at the start of the game and later get some in loot boxes. You can also upgrade them, probably with materials you can buy. I didn't bother, to be honest. There's also wingsuit and parachute skins you can unlock or buy. Speaking of buying stuff, I'm thrilled to tell you that this barely functional mess has 85 euro in-app purchases. 2 of them even. Not like that matters now, since they actually refunded everything after cancelling the game. So good job Square, you did well for once. What's the most expensive thing? 85 euros? Damn. That shit's more expensive than Just Cause 4 with DLC, what the hell. I don't think the game is paused, yeah I don't either. While I didn't have any problems running the game since I have a really good phone, it still got really hot after like 30 minutes of playing it. I also encountered no crashes on my current phone, but when the Just Cause Mobile Twitter page was still active, I've seen people say the game just crashes on startup for them, even on the most up-to-date version of Android. That is just insane. On my previous phone I installed the game when it first launched, and it just kept crashing on startup. Just for fun, I installed it on my Chromebook, and for some reason, it actually worked. When I tried installing it a year later, it didn't work on either of them. So instead of making the game better, they made it worse somehow. The first thing you notice after the tutorial ends is this really annoying background music that loops every minute and gets really annoying after at most 10 minutes. There also seem to be at least 5 different sounds for every random thing you get, unlock, or whatever else, and the game just plays them randomly without telling you what purpose each sound has. The game also starts you off with the lowest settings, regardless of how powerful your phone is, and you cannot change them until you're done with the tutorial. You might say, oh that's not so bad on a mobile game, but then it looks like this? What were they thinking? This is definitely a good way to get a good first impression on your players. They also force you to join a clan right away, like, the tutorial ends, it loads, and then they just shove this menu in your face, and that's it. No explanations, no anything. What are the advantages of joining a clan? I have no idea. All it says is that you can buy items in the store with clan coins, but none of that is ever explained. On the topic of menus, holy hell, what even is all of this, and why does it need to be on screen all at once? There are also way too many menus in general. It's just confusing altogether. But if I had to break them all down, we'd be here all day, so just believe me here. I honestly have no idea who this is for. Most players of mainline entries were waiting for a Just Cause 5. and people who actually play mobile games have probably never heard of Just Cause in the first place. And even if, they'd probably not enjoy it much. Mobile games are normally designed to be as simple to understand as possible and make you feel like you accomplished something in your short playtime. This game is confusing, gives you no sense of accomplishment, and certainly doesn't allow you to just jump in and finish a mission. Honestly, after 2 hours of playing this, I've never felt so empty. I just wasted 2 hours that I can never get back. And I normally don't care. But if a game is so bad it makes your players feel worse after than before, you should perhaps think about what that says about the quality of your game. It really seems like they expected it to fail this whole time. Or even wanted it to, after they realized it was a bad idea. Like, they didn't even try. No official Square Enix channel ever mentioned it. Even on big presentations, they never brought it up, even though they talked about other mobile games they made. It feels like they started off actually wanting to do this, but realized it was a terrible idea. Took away staff to work on other projects, and then just had interns work on it, or something along those lines. At this point, they're probably just waiting for people to forget it ever existed and then get rid of all the evidence that it ever happened. When the public alpha first started, the game checked if you actually are in one of the areas that it's officially available in, before it downloaded updates. But when I recently played it a month before they shut it down, it didn't do that anymore. Almost as if they didn't care anymore, and knew they'd shut it down. If you've ever looked up how many mobile games Square Enix make, or has made, you begin to realize that they don't have to care about one of them failing. They make so much money from their popular franchises that they don't need to care about a not so well known franchise like Just Cause. And it's this fact that not just makes me concerned about Just Cause Mobile, but also for Just Cause 5. You probably heard that Square Enix sold Tomb Raider and Deus Ex about a year ago to fund their crypto stuff. These are actually popular franchises. Why would they sell these and keep Just Cause? Also yes, you heard that right, Square Enix is still doing this crypto nonsense. Even after every other publisher got bullied to hell and back, Square still thinks this is a good idea. And when you start to connect the dots, you might realize what this could mean. Why they kept Just Cause, and why they just silently cancel a game like this. They probably don't even care about Just Cause anymore. Oh, you remember when there was a Just Cause movie in the works? Yeah, looks like that's gone down the drain as well. There have been a few stories about it since, but I doubt it's gonna make it. I have a feeling the only reason they kept Just Cause around is that they can use it to experiment with things like crypto stuff on a less popular franchise, while they keep actually putting effort into their main franchises. Or not. I'll be honest, if you thought Just Cause Mobile and Just Cause 4 were bad, I don't think Just Cause 5 will be any better. And when they then shove crypto stuff and other cash grab in-app purchases into it, that's probably gonna mark the end of the franchise, because that's gonna do even worse than Just Cause 4. Just Cause 2 was an amazing game, and according to Christopher Sandberg, one of the Avalanche Studios founders, they had pretty much full control over the game. And you could tell. There was so much love and care put into Just Cause 2 that is held in such high regards, it's actually insane. Just Cause 3 was great, but you could tell the scope of the game wasn't as big as Just Cause 2's. And when Just Cause 4 came around, well, do I even need to elaborate on that one? Square rushed Avalanche so much, and with only about 2.5 years of time for a game like Just Cause 4, it's no surprise that it turned out like this. It's still worlds better than what Square Enix put together in about the same time, and then when Just Cause 4 did terribly, Square even had the audacity to blame other AAA titles coming out at around the same time, instead of their own incompetence in managing projects. But it does make you think, did they learn from that, or will they continue to not care? Come on guys, is it even a question? Of course not. So let's enjoy it while it lasts.